So in Hollywood, there's been like a sort of renaissance of like class-based films over the
Mhm.
past couple of years. For Parasite is probably the most prominent example. I'm sure you've seen that. Knives Out, Ready or Not, The Platform, which is a new one on Netflix. Do you think this is just a reflection of politics and like class consciousness coming to Hollywood or political awareness, or what do you think about that? Where do you think that comes from?
It's interesting. I think about this a lot, and like you'll sometimes see someone post how much they love Parasite. Didn't Elon
Yep.
Musk say it was his favorite film of the year or something?
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's very ironically, and they're not aware of how ironic it is that they're the
sure,
person.
sure.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a quote in the movie. I think it says it's very easy to be nice when you're rich. It's kind of like, oh, it's very easy to enjoy Parasite when you're rich.
Yeah, and that's true. Like it when you have all your needs met, it's very easy to be nice to somebody.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think I I think that Hollywood has always uh, taken really good novels and short stories and different original works. And I'm not saying that all of the movies you just mentioned had that kind of IP, but I think there's always been like a long history of kind of like what has kind of engaged people. It gets turned into a film. So even if the people making the film, and again, I'm not speaking for all those films or those filmmakers, I really don't know much about it, but I think sometimes, it's like an edgy in thing. It's kind of like maybe the way sometimes now people can kind of be criticized for being like diehard for Bernie, but having really no political analysis or understand,
Right.
you see people kind of attacking each other online, like, oh, they want to be cool, or which is
Hmm.
funny to me because in the circles I've been in, it's either people are really into Bernie because they need health care, or they are
Yep.
really aggressive because they have a very skewed sense of feminism that's not at all,
Yeah.
integrate into a broader consciousness of what actually being, in my opinion, a feminist in the society, what you need.
Right.
Um, I don't think I really have a clear answer for your question. It's something I'm kind of thinking about a lot, and the things I keep coming back to when I talk about ideas with my writing partner. I feel like things like, like The Sopranos, I feel like has
Yep.
become like this, like socialist,
Yeah.
like, kind of like, and I feel like Michael loved The Godfather and The Sopranos and these kind of stories of like these people that like, the way our government kind of like, and I'm not saying what Tony Soprano does, like he's not, of course, he's, a psychopath, or maybe I'm using the wrong mental a diagnosis, but I'm not saying what he does isn't terrifying, but also like it is interesting how we vilify like, the little guy who's just like making this like microcosm, and then like the
Hmm.
much larger apparatus is so much more sinister. Um, so you don't want to make like the kind of film or television that's really boring and
Right.
dense, and you never quite know, like if you make something that is kind of true to the human experience, that often can be as engaging as something that's like purposefully like engineered to kind of push maybe a class conscious narrative or agenda. So just to finish that thought, one thing I'm always, not always, but recently I've been thinking a lot about, Michael's gone, and he definitely was my just he had such clear analysis. So I've been really trying to like figure out ways to kind of build and hone my own analysis, and just these ideas in society, like what is virtue signaling versus raising awareness, what is telling a story that's like true and needs to have like the light shown on it versus being exploitative about someone's like real pain, what is direct aid that's helping people that really need help, and what's like this kind of ugly charity
Yeah.
philanthropic cycle, so somehow all of those things kind of come back to the filmmaking for me.